Very good morning, students. Today I'm going to start the first unit, that is electrochemistry and batteries. In the previous class, we have seen the syllabus of engineering chemistry. The first unit was electrochemistry and batteries. So today I'm going to start the introduction of electrochemistry now. So already you have seen in the intermediate level the basic concept of electrochemistry. Just let us recall the basic definitions of electrochemistry. But before going to start the electrochemistry, maybe you know about the parts of chemistry. Chemistry has divided into four parts. One is physical chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and the general chemistry. So you have seen organic chemistry is nothing but which deals about the hydrocarbons like alkenes, alkenes, and alkynes like that. Whereas inorganic chemistry, which deals about the periodic table component, the elements, and whereas the physical chemistry, which is deals about only the matter, for example, solutions, chemical kinetics, and electrochemistry. So these are comes under physical chemistry. And general chemistry, which is apart from these, that is the spectroscopy, that is NMR spectroscopy, mass spectroscopy, polymers. Here these are comes under the general chemistry. So here electrochemistry comes under which part of chemistry? Electrochemistry comes under physical chemistry. And electrochemistry is deals about the two types of energies. Those two type of energies are electrical energy and the chemical energy. So what is the use of electrical and electrochemistry? Electrochemistry is deals about the conversion of two types of energies, that is electrical energy and the chemical energy. That means how the electrical energy converts to chemical energy and how the chemical energy converts to electrical energy. In electrical energy to chemical energy means here electrical energy is nothing but electricity, whereas chemical energy is nothing but the chemical reactions. So in the forward direction, the by passing electricity, chemical reactions are taking place. That is electrical energy to chemical energy. And whereas in the backward direction, backward reaction is chemical energy converts to electrical energy means by chemical reactions, electricity is producing. That is electrical to chemical and chemical to electrical. So now let us see the definition of electrochemistry. Electrochemistry is the study of production of electricity from energy released during spontaneous chemical reaction and the use of electrical energy to bring about non-spontaneous chemical transformation. Just let us read again. Electrochemistry is the study of production of electricity. Yes, here electricity is producing due to the spontaneous chemical reactions. That means electrical energy to chemical energy. And the use of electrical energy, that means consuming electrical energy to bring about non-spontaneous chemical reactions. Yes, either chemical to electrical and electrical to chemical energy. That is electrochemistry. So simply electrochemistry is the branch of physical chemistry which deals about the electrical energy to chemical energy and chemical energy to electrical energy. Now let us see the types of materials based on the passage of electricity or based on the capacity of flow of current. It means every material cannot pass the electricity. Few materials are passing electricity. Few materials able to pass the electricity. Few materials are not able to pass the electricity. Whereas few materials can pass the electricity partially. So based on this, the materials are classifying into three types. One is conductors, semiconductors, and the insulators. Insulators are also called as the non-conductor. So based on the ability of flow of current, materials are classifying into three types. One is conductors, insulators. Insulators are also called as the non-conductors and the semiconductors. Let us see the definition of conductor. In the name itself, we have conductor is nothing but which is able to pass the electricity, which is able to flow the current. But why the conductors are exhibiting conductance? Why the conductors are able to pass the electricity. Yes, so let us see the definition of conductors. Materials capable of carrying electrical current, that is materials which has mobile charge carriers. So why the materials are able to pass the electricity? Due to having the mobile charge carriers. Mobile charge carriers are nothing but either electrons or ions. Here electrons or ions are the mobile charge carriers. Because by transferring electrons and ions only, the materials can able to pass the electricity. So why the materials are able to pass the electricity? Due to having the mobile charge carriers. A metal which is very good carrier of electricity is called the conductor. So any material which is able to pass the electricity is called the conductor here. Example, example of conductors, metals, liquids with ions, plasma, copper and aluminum are good examples of the conductor. So what are the examples of conductor? Every metal except mercury, and all the solutions which are having the ions, plasma, copper, aluminum, these are the best examples of the conductor because these are having the mobile charge carriers, either electrons or the ions. So due to the mobile charge carriers, these are exhibiting conductor. So simply what is mean by the conductor? The material which is able to pass electricity due to having the mobile charge carriers. Next one is the insulators. Insulators are also called as the non-conductors. In the name itself, we can understand what is mean with the non-conductors. Non-conductors are nothing but the material which is not able to pass the electricity. But why the material is not able to pass the electricity? Because of the lack of mobile charge carriers. Or maybe there is a mobile charge carriers, but those are in the very less number. If the mobile charge carriers are very less or no mobile charge carriers in the material cannot pass the electricity. That is called the insulator or the non-conductor. Material with no or very few charge carriers do not pass electricity. For example, paper, wood, rubber, quartz, and most covalent compounds and the ionic compounds, especially solids, plastics, glass, paper. Yeah, these are the examples of the non-conductors or the insulators which are not passing electricity. Yes, so these are acting as the best electrical insulator in the electronic industry. Especially we are using the plastics and the fibers as the best electrical insulator because these are not passing electricity, these are not able to pass the electricity. But why these are not able to pass the electricity? Because of the lack of mobile charge carriers or due to presence of less number of mobile charge carriers. And the last one, semiconductors. Semi is nothing but partially. That means moderately. If any material which is able to pass the electricity moderately, such type of compounds or such type of materials are called the semiconductors. A semiconductor is a material is one whose electrical properties are lies in between those of insulators and the good conductors. So how the electrical properties of the semiconductors? These are lying between the conductors and the non-conductors because these are able to pass the electricity but moderately, not like conductors, not like insulators. These are able to pass the electricity but moderately. So these properties are lying between the conductors and the non-conductors. So examples are N type of semiconductors, P type of semiconductors, that is germanium semiconductors, boron semiconductors. These are the best examples of the semiconductors. Yes, so this is the classification of material based on the able to pass the electricity, based on the ability to pass the electricity. What are the three materials? Conductors, semiconductors, and the insulators. Insulators are also called as the non-conductors. And the next one, types of conductors. Again, conductors are classifying into two types based on the nature of mobile charge carrier. What is mobile charge carrier? Now we have seen what is mobile charge carrier. Mobile charge carrier is either electron or the ion. Electron or ion is acting as a mobile charge carrier. Some materials are maybe having the electrons, so which can able to pass the electricity due to having the electrons only. But some type of materials, some kind of materials are having only ions which are able to pass the electricity due to mobility of ions. So why the conductors are exhibiting conductance either due to transfer of electrons or due to transfer of ions or due to mobility of electrons or due to mobility of ions. So based on that, either electrons can move or ions can move. So based on the nature of mobile charge carrier, conductors are further classifying into two types. One is called metallic conductors and another one is called the non-metallic conductors. On which basis the conductors are classifying into two types? Based on the ability of flow of current, based on the nature of mobile charge carrier. Metallic and the electrolytic conductors. Metallic conductors are also called as the electronic conductors, whereas electrolytic conductors are also called as the non-metallic conductors. Let us see one by one. What is metallic and the non-metallic? What is metallic is also called as electronic. Non-metallic is also called as the electrolytic. In metallic conductors, flow of electricity takes place without the decomposition of the substance. Yes, how? These are exhibiting conductance without decomposition. That means without breaking of the substance, these are able to pass the electricity. That is called the metallic conductors. But how? Without decomposition, how the material is able to pass the electricity? Only due to transfer of electrons inside of the material. Yes, due to transfer of electrons inside of the material, without decomposition, the metallic conductors are exhibiting conductance. Here, flow of electricity is due to flow of electrons only. That is, there is no flow of matter. When the matter will be flowing, when the matter will be transferred from one place to another place, when the material is decomposing, when the material is decomposing, then only the matter will be transferred from one place to another place. But here there is no decomposition of the matter. So only due to transfer of electrons inside of the metal, those are exhibiting conductors, that is called the metallic conductors. So what is metallic conductor? Metallic conductor is nothing but the conductor which is exhibiting conductance due to transfer of electrons and without decomposition of the material. Let's see the continuation of metallic conductors. In addition to metals, graphite and certain minerals also conduct electricity due to the presence of free electrons in them. Yes. So why the remaining types of materials, not only metal, some of the materials are exhibiting conductance. Why? Due to the presence of the electrons. Because these are exhibiting conductance due to transfer of electrons or due to mobility of electrons. Hence, they are collectively called as the electronic conductors. Why we are calling metallic conductors are the electronic conductors? Because electrons are responsible for the conductance. Due to transfer of electrons only, these are exhibiting conductance. So, metallic conductors are also called as the electronic conductors. Metallic conduction is decreases with increase of the temperature. Yes. So by increasing the temperature, what is happening to the metallic conductors? Metallic conductors are decreasing. Why? This is because kernels start vibrating, which produce hindrance effect in the flow of electrons. The kernels are nothing but the outer shells. Yes, the kernels are nothing but the outer shells. So when the outer shells are starts vibrating, when the outer shells are starts vibrating, there are inside of the electrons are having the internal repulsion, that is called the hindrance here. So when there is a repulsion, these can't be moved freely. So when there is no free moving of electrons, how about the conductance? Conductance will be less. So by increasing in the temperature, metallic conductors are decreasing because of the hindrance effect and due to vibrating the kernels. Now let us see the next type of conductors, that is electrolytic conductors and the non-metallic conductors. In electrolytic conductors, electrolyte is responsible for the conductance. What is meant by the electrolyte? Electrolyte is nothing but any substance or any material which is decomposing by passing electricity in the aqueous medium or in the molten state. Again, I'm repeating, the electrolyte is nothing but any material or any substance which is decomposing by the passage of electricity in the liquid medium or in the molten state. In the aqueous state or in the molten state is called the electrolyte. That means any electrolyte which is in the liquid state, that means in the aqueous state, if it is decomposing, what we are getting? We are getting the ions, that is the cation and the anions. For example, let us take NaCl. When NaCl solution is decomposing, we will get Na plus and the Cl minus. So when there is a decomposition, we are getting the ions. So here these ions are moving to exhibit the conductance here. So in electrolytic conductors, electrolyte is responsible for the conductance. And in electrolyte, what are present? What are the mobile charge carriers here? Ions are the mobile charge carriers in the electrolyte. In electrolytic conductors, flow of electricity takes place by the decomposition of the substance. That's what I said now. Which substance is decomposing here? Electrolyte is decomposing here. So here flow of electricity is due to the movement of ions and hence there is flow of matter. So when the ions are moving, there is a matter also moving from one place to another place. So in addition to transfer of ions, there is a flow of matter in electrolytic conductors. So what is electrolytic conductors? The conductors which are exhibiting conductance due to transfer of ions and due to decomposition of the substance. And solution of acids, bases, and salts. These are the examples of electrolytic conductors. So what are the examples of electrolytic conductors? Solutions of acids, solutions of bases, and solutions of the salts. These are the examples of the electrolytic conductors. The electrolytic conductions will not occur unless the ion of the electrolyte are free to move. So here, when the electrolytic conductance is there, when the ion can be freely moving. When the ion cannot be free moving, is there conductance? There is no conductance. When there is a conductance, then when the ions can be freely moving from one place to another place. That's what we are saying here. The electrolytic conduction will not occur unless the ions of the electrolyte are free to move. So therefore, these substances do not conduct electricity in the solid state. In the solid state, how the atoms are arranging, we know, we have seen in the 7th or 8th class, in the solid state, all the atoms are closely packing with each other. So because of that reason only, we can see the solid state is having the definite shape because of the arrangement of atoms in the particular order. Yes. So uh, when the ions are present in the solid medium, what is happening in the solid state? All the ions are very closely packing with each other. So when they are closely packing with each other, there are no free movement of the ions. So the electrolytic conductance is not exhibiting in the solid state. It is exhibiting either in the liquid state or in the molten state. So liquid state is nothing but when the solution is having aqua as the solvent. Aqua is nothing but water as the solvent. Molten state is nothing but the paste form. When the any electrolyte is in the form of paste, then also it is exhibiting conductance. The electrical conduction increases with increase of the temperature. So how the electrical conduction is? Electrical conduction is increasing by increasing in the temperature. But whereas in the metallic conductors, the conductance is decreasing by increasing in the temperature because of the hindrance effect and due to vibration of the kernels. But whereas in the electrolytic conductors, by increasing in the temperature, conductance is increasing because of the increasing of the dissociation of the electrolyte. When there is more number of dissociation, when there is more dissociation, more number of cations and the ions are forming, anions are forming. When there are more number of ions, there is more conductance because ions are the mobile charge carriers. So by increasing in the dissociation, the conductance is increasing here. So all electrolytes do not ionize to the same extent in the solution. Here every electrolyte is not decomposition in the same speed. Some electrolytes can decompose very fastly and some electrolytes are decomposing slowly. Some electrolytes are decomposing completely. Some electrolytes are decomposing partially, that means incomplete. So based on that decomposition, electrolytes are classifying into two types. One is called the strong electrolyte and the weak electrolyte. So here all electrolytes do not ionize to the same extent in the solution. On this basis, electrolytes are broadly divided into two types. One is called the strong electrolyte and another one is the weak electrolyte. A strong electrolyte is nothing but the electrolyte which are almost completely dissociated into ions in solution are called the strong electrolyte. So what is happening in the strong electrolyte? Here the electrolyte is decomposing completely to cations and the anions. That means the entire substance is converts to cations and the anions. That means there is no remaining reactant here. The reactant is completely converted as a product in the strong electrolyte. That means here the electrolyte is completely decomposing to cations and the anions. Such type of electrolytes are called the strong electrolyte. Examples of the strong electrolytes is all strong acids, strong bases, and the strong salts. There are few examples of strong electrolyte: NaCl, that is sodium chloride; KCl, potassium chloride; HCl, hydrochloric acid; NaOH, sodium hydroxide; NH4, NO3, ammonium nitrate. Yeah, these are the few examples of the strong electrolyte. So what is strong electrolyte? The electrolyte which is decomposing completely to cations and the anions. And the last one, weak electrolyte. Weak electrolyte is nothing but the electrolyte which is not decomposing completely to cations and the anions. So when there is no complete decomposition to cations and the anions, there is an equilibrium between the electrolyte and the ions. That means there is an equilibrium between the reactants and the products. But why there is a equilibrium? What is meant by the equilibrium? Equilibrium is nothing but you will be having the two arrow marks here, the forward arrow and the backward arrow. Equilibrium is nothing but the forward reaction and the backward reactions are occurring at the same speed. Then only the equilibrium is reaching. That means in the weak electrolyte, the electrolyte is initially decomposing to cation and the anion, but these are not stable. Again, come back to its original state, that means to the electrolyte. So here the electrolyte is not decomposing completely to cations and the anions. So due to this, there is an equilibrium between the cations and the anions. So here there is no complete decomposition of the electrolyte in the weak electrolyte. Example, all weak acids, weak bases and the weak salts. Few examples of weak electrolyte: acetic acid CH3COOH, carbonic acid H2CO3, boric acid H3BO3, HCN hydrogen cyanide, HgCl2 mercurous chloride, ZnCl2 zinc chloride, NH4OH ammonium hydroxide. So thus in case of weak electrolyte, an equilibrium is established between the unionized electrolyte and the ions formed in the solution. Unionized electrolyte is nothing but the reactant and ions are nothing but the products. Yes. So with this, I'm going to conclude today's session. In this session, just I have given the basic definitions. One is electrochemistry and types of materials. In types of materials, materials are three types: conductors, semiconductors, and the insulator. And the next topic was the types of conductors. Conductors are two types. One is the metallic conductors and the electrolytic conductors. Metallic conductors are exhibiting conductance due to transfer of electrons. Electrolytic conductors are exhibiting conductance due to transfer of ions. That is about metallic conductors and the electrolytic conductors. And the next topic, last topic was electrolyte classification, that is weak electrolyte and the strong electrolyte. But just let us recall again the definition of electrolyte. Electrolyte is nothing but any substance which is decomposing by passing electricity in the aqueous state or in the molten state. In the strong electrolyte, electrolyte is decomposing completely, whereas in the weak electrolyte, electrolyte is decomposing partially. So remaining we will see in the next class. And thank you so much, ma'am.